Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video, we are going to have a look at some of the top symptoms of a bad engine. A car engine is the heart of the vehicle that is responsible for converting the chemical energy stored in fuel into the mechanical energy that propels the car forward. There are some basic components that are required in order to achieve this task. Some of them are the cylinder block, the pistons, the crankshaft, the camshaft, the intake and exhaust system, fuel system, ignition system, and the cooling system as well. The specific design and configuration of these components can vary across different engines, but the core function of fuel into usable mechanical power remains the same. Now, there are some signs that indicate when your engine starts to go bad. Let's have a look at some of the top symptoms that are exhibited by bad engine. For example, engine knocking, pinging, or rattling noise. Abnormal, excessive noise can be an indication of a bad engine. And knocking, pinging, or tapping noise coming from the engine, especially during acceleration or under load, can indicate issues like low engine oil, worn out bearing, carbon buildup, or engine knock as well. Strange noises coming from the engine like rattling, knocking, or ticking sounds can indicate problems with the bearings. It could be caused by problems with the pistons or other moving parts. So, excessive engine noise is an indication of bad engine. Loud, unusual, or persistent noise like grinding, whining, or rumbling noise coming from the engine can point to problem within the bearings, gears, or other internal components. So unusual noise is the number one indication of bad engine. The other indication is excessive exhaust smoke. Excessive white smoke, excessive blue smoke, or excessive black smoke coming from the exhaust can indicate problem like worn out piston rings, leaking valves, or issues with the fuel system. Loss of power and poor acceleration is another indication. If the engine seems to be losing power and struggling to accelerate, it could be a sign of worn components like piston rings, and engine cylinders. It could be caused by faulty sensors or other mechanical problems. Rough idling or engine stalling can be an indication of a larger problem. An engine that idles roughly, that shakes or vibrates or stalls can point to issues like a failed spark plug, problem with the fuel injection system, or worn out engine block cylinders or worn out piston rings. High oil consumption is another indication of a deadly problem within the engine. If the engine is using abnormally high amount of oil, it may indicate leakage, it may indicate overworn piston rings or worn cylinder walls or other internal engine wear. So excessive oil consumption is an issue that requires engine overhauling. Sometimes check engine illumination can be an indication of dangerous problem. The check engine light turning on can signal a wide range of potential engine problems that need to be diagnosed and addressed. Engine overheating is another issue that has to be taken into account. An engine that runs hotter than normal or frequently overheats can point to cooling system issues, leakage in the cooling system, compression leak to the cooling system, or other internal problems as well. Engine misfiring. If the engine misfires, stutters, or runs unevenly, it can indicate problem with the spark plug, with ignition coils, the fuel injectors, or other components in the ignition and fuel delivery system. If you happen to notice that there is a decrease in fuel efficiency, sudden drop in vehicle fuel economy, it can be a sign of various engine issues such as worn out components, bad air-fuel mixture, internal engine problems, and some sort of leak leading to decreased fuel efficiency. Excessive oil leak is another indication of a bad engine. Oil leak from the engine, particularly from the oil pan, from the valve cover, or other seals can lead to low oil level and engine damage. Please always make sure that there is no oil leakage going on. Otherwise, the engine will starve oil. That will lead to accelerated wear, failure of the internal components, and even it can lead to engine seizure in extreme cases. Increased emission. If the vehicle is producing abnormally high levels of exhaust emission, it could point to issues with the engine combustion. It could be a problem associated with the catalytic converter or other overall engine management systems. So increased emission can be an indication of an internal problem. Previously, we have mentioned some of the colors that could indicate abnormal wear: white smoke, blue smoke, and black smoke. Black smoke has to do with rich mixture. Blue smoke has to do with burning of oil. White smoke has to do with moisture in the exhaust system or low compression. All this should be taken into account. If you happen to notice there is abnormal engine vibration, excessive vibration coming from the engine, it can signify problems with the engine mount. It can be caused by imbalanced rotation components or other mechanical issues. If, for example, one of the cylinders is not contributing power as much as the rest, that could lead to engine vibration. So engine smooth running can be affected if one of the cylinders is performing low. Engine vibration can be an indication of internal problem. Difficulty starting is another indication of an engine going bad. If the engine is having trouble starting, especially when cold, it could be a sign of ignition system problem. It could be associated with a fuel delivery, or it could be associated with some sort of mechanical problem. Well, it could be caused by poor battery, but especially the mechanical part has to be given due attention. And the other very deadly indication of a bad engine is engine seizure. In extreme cases, a complete engine seizure can occur where the engine suddenly stops working altogether. Often this is due to catastrophic failure of internal components. Unusual engine odor can sometimes indicate a problem within the engine. Strong or unusual odor coming from the engine compartment, it can indicate issues like oil leak. If oil starts to leak and drip on hot surfaces, that can cause unusual odor. Burning oil or problems with the exhaust system can lead to unusual odor. If you happen to notice there is compression loss, if the engine is losing compression in one or more of the cylinder, it can cause loss of power, misfiring, and other performance issues. So if you open the engine compartment and listen a hissing sound that indicates a leakage, if you make compression test and notice that one or more of the cylinders are performing low, that could be an indication of a problem. Coolant leak is another indication of a trouble within the engine. Coolant leaks from the engine, from the radiator, from the hoses can lead to overheating and potential engine damage if not addressed. So overall decrease in engine performance, general loss of power, loss of acceleration, or loss of responsiveness from the engine can indicate a range of underlying problems. Engine hesitation, engine stumbling, these are some of the symptoms that indicate problem within the engine. If the engine hesitates, if it stumbles or has difficulty maintaining smooth operation, it can signify issues with the fuel system, with the ignition system, or some problem with the engine control computer. If you notice that there is excessive engine blow-by, increased presence of engine blow-by or combustion gases escaping past the piston ring, it can indicate excessive wear or damage on the internal engine parts. It could be caused by faulty piston ring. It could be caused by worn-out cylinder. Excessive engine wear, visible signs of excessive wear on engine components such as scoring on the cylinder walls or excessive bearing clearance can foreshadow impending engine failure. So underlying this understanding, identifying these problems is very crucial. So by addressing these symptoms early on, you can help prevent more serious and costly engine problems from developing. We have looked into so many indicatives of engine going bad. So if you happen to notice any of these symptoms on your vehicle, it is very crucial that you address them very promptly. You should take proper diagnostics and repair procedure to help prevent further engine damage and costly repair down the line. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you regarding some of the top symptoms of bad engine. If you find this video helpful, please smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you will be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.